Well, Disventure Camp All Stars has officially ended my love of perhaps this entire franchise. I may never feel happy towards this entire show ever again because this is straight bullshit. I do not care. I am going to be swearing, so if you don't like that, I suggest that you just stop watching. Because this is the worst thing ever. Just straight up. How did we get to this point? How did we reach such a low for Disventure Camp with the All Star season? Well, yes, and I think ultimately at this point I feel as if All Star seasons just know how, like, the show people who make the show don't know how to do it. They just don't. They don't friggin' know how to do the All Star season. The fact that now both Total Drama and Disventure Camp both now officially have their worst season as All Stars is depressing. It's so freaking depressing. That is absolutely just not good. And I mean, it might just be that All Stars is just not worth it. I mean, but at the same time, Survivor does good. Maybe because it doesn't have writing. I don't freaking know. But anyways, I just watched episode 20. I watched it a bit later than I didn't watch it live because I had other stuff to do. I had to watch WWE because I'm also a WWE fan, if you guys don't know that. But I didn't watch it right away, and I just watched it. And yeah, Disventure Camp All Stars is now it was the nail in the coffin that this season is just straight garbage. I cannot at all understand what the freaking point is anymore. I am not going to be. I don't even think I want to watch episode 21. Cause honestly, if anything, if I watch it, it just gives me a canon winner. It gives me a winner, and I don't want either of them to win. So honestly, I might not even watch episode 21 because I know I'm guaranteed to leave disappointed, and I'm going to be less disappointed just not watching it. That is how I feel about Disventure Camp All Stars now, and that sucks. This is completely. I love Disventure Camp. I absolutely love this show, and I absolutely wish that it was like I wish that it could have stayed at the heights it had with season 1. Season 1 of Disventure Camp. Not season 2. The season with it's very weird. Disventure Camp. Season 1 came after season 2 or whatever. Season 1 Disventure Camp is one of the best seasons of this kind of a show, of any total drama based thing at all. Disventure Camp season 1 is a very good season. Disventure Camp season 2 is good. It has its issues, but it's ultimately I consider it a good season. This All-Star season, because of episode 20 now, is officially just straight up dog shit. I cannot get over the fact. Because if you haven't watched it, spoiler warning, I haven't said anything that's happened in the episode. That's my non-spoiler review of the episode. That this episode officially makes this season dog shit. But now let's get into spoilers. So you can leave now if you don't want to get spoiled on the show. I don't know why you'd click on a video about Disventure Camp without seeing the most recent episode, but I mean, if you haven't watched it, go watch it so you can be likely as disappointed as me, or you're just gonna be just gonna disagree with me and think, oh, it's all fine, it's all good, oh my god, it was such a good episode. No, it wasn't. So yeah, go watch it, and get disappointed or be delusional. Now, on to spoilers. Ali is now out. The final two is Jake and Rhea. If you haven't watched my ranking of the all the Disventure Camp characters, I suggest go watching that. I don't blame you if you don't watch the whole thing because it's a 40-minute video. I did not want it to be 40 minutes, but I had a lot to say. But in that ranking, Jake and Rhea were the two lowest of all the All Stars characters. Not the lowest characters in general. I think that as contestants, I think that there are contestants that had their own season that were only in season 1 or season 2 that are worse than them. But they are the lowest in terms of All Stars, and they're the final two. And I'm not going to be happy no matter how this show ends. The only way I'm going to be happy is if freaking Jake wins, or if one of them wins it and then they just give all the money to someone else. Straight up. That would be the only way I'd actually enjoy this season at this point now. Like, that'd be the only way I'd like the ending. If Rio wins it, have her just, like, give half of it to Connor and give the other half to Alec. You know, like, that'd be a good ending. If Jake wins it, have him give half of it to Allie and half of it to Ashley, because I don't want to see them at all win. They are just the worst characters. They are absolute terrible. They are the most enraging characters and inconsistent characters in the entire show. And people act like they have so much depth, and like they're just like all the things that they do that make sense for their characters. No, they are just the characters for the writers to use if they need something to be done. Oh, do you need someone to pull a villainous move and to make Connor upset or something? Rhea. Oh, you need something to get Connor to like quit? Have Rhea break his leg. Oh, you need something to cause Rhea to win immunity. Have Jake be a dick. You know, they're not good characters. They are just the show's puppets to freaking be though that they can do, because they have moments where they are good and bad, and so then it's like, oh, they're good and bad, so they can do whatever the frick we want them to do, because that's who they are. They are sometimes good and sometimes bad, and it's just inconsistency and used to do what the show needs them to do. And fine, you can have those characters to do that. Just don't freaking put them as the final fucking two. Oh my god, this is so dumb. I literally hate this now. I'm a fit like this. I cannot stand this season anymore. This season was so good. It was so good. Pre-merge was so freaking good. But now ever since the merge, it's just slowly gone downhill. Like it's so not good anymore. I don't like sure there are the fans of Jake, there are fans of Rhea, but I feel like that's not the majority of this fan base, and I don't know why the choice is to have one of them win. Neither of them should be the winner. I don't understand the point of having either of them win. And this whole episode was just so bad. Like, first off, let's talk about episode 19. I really liked episode 19. The returnee motel episode, really fun. Bringing back 3 people as the helpers through finding the totems, amazing. I loved the 3 choices that they made. But now the 3 choices that they made, I think, make absolutely no sense now, based on Allie getting eliminated. Because the 3 people that are the helpers are Fiore, James, and Yule. And out of those 3, the person that should actually be a part of the winner is Fiore, and you can't convince me otherwise. You can say, oh no, James should not be it. Yule should not be it. Neither of them should be given anything. James won. James does not need an extra $100,000. He won season 2. No way in my mind should he win. And that's the same thing with Jake, in that in a way he kind of won season 1. Like, Miriam won it, but for God's sake, I'm sure most of that money probably went towards Jake's whiny ass, so she could get him to shut the fuck up. The fact of the matter is, now Jake has James, making Jake's win. It's obvious he's gonna win now, just because, I mean, maybe Rhea is gonna win, and if she does, then it's actually worse. The fact that, like, Jake is the better option of the 2 is terrible. But then Rhea has Yule as her partner, and Yule shouldn't get any justification. He doesn't deserve to win anything out of this season. Look how he treated Gret. No way can you tell me that Yule deserves to actually get any victory out of this at all. And they didn't even have him like be redeemed before doing so. He's not going to be part of this final challenge. He's not redeeming anymore. But now and then you had Allie get Fiore, the only one that I actually think makes sense for her to win. First off, she like obviously she's kind of like Yule, and that maybe she doesn't deserve to like win, but at the same time, she freaking absolutely like Fiore isn't as bad as Yule, and she hasn't done anything evil this season. I don't care what you say. She hasn't really been that villainous this season, except for in the returnee episode where she tried to pop the tires on the bikes. She's not done anything bad other than that this season, and it absolutely is dumb, and I absolutely hate it. This season, and so you go in with two helpers that shouldn't get any money, even if it is only like $100,000. They should not get any of that money at all. And then you have the one character that does it, that probably deserves it to have, that can have some of that money, and also has a reason to get some of that money, bringing up that she can use it to get out of her dumb Catholic school or whatever it is with all the nuns. They gave her a reason to have it, put her with Allie, and that gave me hope. That gave me the thought that, is Allie gonna actually win? No, they got rid of her because of some bullshit, and we'll get to that. But the helpers just made this whole choice even worse. But either way, another awful thing was what they did with Emily, and I said it in my video on ranking the characters. I did a whole host ranking, and my one thing with Emily was, please do not make her this super bad person villain. And guess what they did? They made her a super bad, evil person. She literally just releases a bunch of giant scorpions and tries to get the contestants killed in an attempt to shut down the show, and doesn't care that she's putting people in danger. That is not what we have seen out of Emily. She has not been that kind of a character. She has been a bit manipulative. She's been a bit of a drama searcher. But in no way has she been someone who is literally trying to get people killed so that she can feel revenge over someone else. That was so dumb, and now officially my ranking of the characters is now outdated. I assumed it wouldn't, because I thought there's no way they could possibly screw up any of it's pretty obvious what the characters are going to be doing in these last couple episodes, so clearly they can't screw them up. And then they screwed up Emily. Luckily, they haven't screwed up things with Jake and Allie. Well, they have with Allie, because actually they didn't screw her up as a character. They just eliminated her because of some stupid crap. Now, ultimately, yeah, that's the end of, and then, also, it seems like they just killed Emily. I don't know where freaking Emily went. Trevor and Derek saved the campers from the scorpions. She tries to go and wake him up. She wakes him up, and then they pick her up, and they're like beating the crap out of her. Meanwhile, everybody else runs away, and then we just never get any confirmation on what happened to Emily. So she became a super villain and then seemingly died. So I don't know what the whole why did they do that. And yeah, so that's another thing. And then the elimination. The most bullshit elimination this entire season, and we've had some bullshit eliminations. This one just genuinely doesn't make any sense. Well, people go after the Gabby elimination saying, oh, that one doesn't make any sense. But this one is straight up, yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. This is like worse than that. Like, people point to like, oh, Gabby and Gret, since when did Gret get a hold of her phone, and like, why did Gret have the phone that had her recordings on it? Like, yeah, they didn't show that, but that's something that could easily be done. This whole episode, the whole point was to search for these 10 gems, and they need to get 10 gems and then go and bring them to the finish line. and Allie loses because her backpack was like broken open and didn't have and she lost her gems. Um, which, yeah, she didn't have the 10 gems, but I'm confident that Rhea didn't either. There was no way Rhea had the gems. I'm literally like, there's no way. Like, this isn't a case where, like, oh, she could have just gotten the 10 gems off camera, like it could have been done with Gret and Gabby, because like Gret and Gabby, it's like, oh, maybe they literally need to just trade off phones off camera, or like randomly accidentally trade off phones in the crazy ruckus that was the whole boat thing with them falling out. There's opportunity for them to do that. Rhea and Yule had none of the 10 gems. They get attacked by scorpions, and then the next time that we see them, they're getting chased by scorpions. They make it to the end, and it's like, okay, yeah, they have all the 10 gems, right? Yeah. And it's like they just believe her, when in all reality, I don't think that they had the gems, meaning that Rhea shouldn't have even, she shouldn't have been considered the winner either. But Allie gets eliminated because she lost some of her gems. She lost some of them, probably half of them. Rhea had 0. Allie probably had 5 because Fiore's backpack wasn't broken. So why is Rhea going forward? There was no possibility of her actually getting those gems. Like, there's no place where she could have gotten them. And it's so stupid. And Allie gets her big, like, a big thing where she says, I don't care if people don't want me to win. And I feel like that should have been the show saying, we don't care about the people who don't like Allie. We're going to let her win. But instead, they have her give that big speech and then eliminate her. This whole episode just completely has a fit. Like, I was already not a fan of this season entirely. I thought that at best it would end up as mediocre. But now this whole, and the only way it was going to do that is if Allie won. The other two have no reason to win at all. I don't think that it's good for them to win. That they don't make for good winners, and they don't deserve to win. I made a whole video on Jake, and I could make a whole video on Rhea, but ultimately, I feel like I might do that now because she's actually in the finale. First off, I didn't do that because I think that there was no chance she was going to make it and she was going to win. And also, I was thinking there's no way that I would actually need to explain that. I thought that everybody was of the consensus that Rhea does not deserve to win. And I'm apparently wrong in that. And now it's obvious Jake is going to be given the win for no good reason, even though the writers said, "Oh, we're gonna it's gonna be a surprising winner." And honestly, they may have said that back before the writer switch, so who knows if plans were changed. I can't do this anymore with Disventure Camp. I can't do it. I need this whole thing has been nothing but disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. And I mean, this one thing I can say is that this season single-handedly made me want to include Disventure Camp in my written by me series regarding Total Drama. All Stars is the exact reason why I did that. I don't really feel the need to change up much of Season 1 and Season 2, but I will. I'll do it my way, and then get it into an all-star situation where I can actually give my take on what should have happened. And I can guarantee you, Jake and Rhea are not going to be in the finale. Bro, like, straight up, they are not going to be in the finale, and I absolutely despise the fact that this is the way they went. This is the way that it ultimately goes. Rhea frickin' versus Jake. This is the worst finale you could have had. Even if you think that, like, oh, it could have been worse. It could have been James versus Miriam. I would prefer James versus Miriam in the finale. Because, like, yeah, the two winners shouldn't get another win. But at the same time, the idea of the two previous winners battling it out to prove who the true biggest winner is would actually be interesting. And I would actually be kind of interested in seeing who would wins. I'm not interested in seeing who wins because I'm going to be pissed the frick off no matter what. And I'm probably going to have. Now, this is just the perfect setup for the worst. Well, the return to school, which is of course, Disventure Camp. You went and put me in a bad mood when I'm already in a bad mood because I have to go back to school. Wow. Thanks. Thank you, Odd Nation Cartoons, for choosing to go with this whole approach and officially just making this season not good. It's not even a case where it's like mediocre. This season is just bad. And I don't care what anybody else has to say about it. It's not a good season, and you will not convince me it's a good season. You cannot convince me that Jake or Rhea are good winners. Yes, you can, and if if you're a diehard fan of those two, good for you. Good for you. You like the character that is the two characters that are the most controversial in all of the show because you just like to have different opinions from people. Like, oh my god, I've been just rambling this whole time, and I'm gonna. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hearing my just ticked off rant about this whole season, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.